Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, do you remember yesterday I did the reading on the Sandringham, and King Charles said it showed King Charles was going to have rules and regulations and conditions that Harry would not be able to fulfill. And sure enough, today it says King Charles' response to Prince Harry's hopes for Sandringham visit. A lot of people are saying, well, why would he be going to Sandringham? They all go to Balmoral for summer. But we have to remember, Harry is in the UK in July. So Harry's thinking, let's go to Sandringham, right? The kids can run and play, it's safe there and whatnot, because he knows they're going to Balmoral in August. So let's remember that, because everyone's like, why were they talking about Sandringham? They go to Balmoral. Well, not in July, they don't. Okay? So, that out of the way. It's been reported that King Charles is skeptical about the Duke of Sussex's hopes to visit Sandringham in the summer with his wife Meghan and two children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. A friend of the king, told the Daily Mail, now is a friend of the king Tom, Camilla's son, if Harley, I said it again. See, because the word truly is right beside that, Harry and truly, and my brain puts them together. That's sometimes what happens. If Harry truly wishes to see his father, he would do well to encourage his supporters to allow such matters to be discussed privately, since low trust and bitter experience in this regard remains one of the principal barriers to progress. So to me, that's not a no. That's not an absolutely not. That is, I've put forward some rules. And the rules are, it needs to be quiet, discussed privately. In other words, you can't tell your wife because she'll go to the media. You can't tell the media. Discussed privately means just that. That's a big surprise for everybody when Harry and the children show up and are off to Sandringham. All right. So let's clarify. So does discuss privacy, since low trust and bitter experience in this regard remains one of the principal barriers to progress. So that's not a no. It's like Harry has to learn to play with the rules. And then I'm open to discussion, right? Everyone's reading that as that's a no. Absolutely not. The king's not interested. Absolutely not. That's not how I read it at all. Because of my reading yesterday about this situation, that the king put up rules, and then we hear what the rules are today, discussed privately. So let's ask the cards. Is Harry willing to discuss this privately? Is Harry willing to discuss this privately? Like, is he willing to play by? That's actually a pretty simple rule. It's not like, cut your ring finger off and send it to me in the mail. We'll talk. No, this has to be discussed privately, means no media. But is he willing to do that? And more importantly, is she willing to do that? Is Harry willing to move forward by discussing this privately? And then we'll get to Neil Sean's little thing there about William is saying, bring it. We'll get DNA samples of the kids. Anyways, Ace of Cups. No, he's not. He's a big ball baby. Wee. I want to tell my wife. I want to tell the media. No, he's not. There's the offer, and he's like, that's just bringing him a bunch of tears. That was the offer. Here's the offer of love. No. You want to know something interesting? I don't read this deck in reverse, and that card came out in reverse. There's the Empress, the Lovers, and no. I think one of the things was you can't tell Meghan. That's a no. He's not willing. Meghan won't allow it. It's either both of them or none of them. Oh, the Tower. This will be the, like, honestly, it's such a simple rule. I don't get the issue. I think Meghan's going to jeopardize all of it all the time because she does not want to go to the UK. So Meghan is going to jeopardize it. We should almost do, there's the Four of Wands and the Chariot. Oh, there's William saying, bring it. Bring it. Let me just go get those swabs. This won't hurt at all. This is also telling me somebody's really trying to control the narrative around this situation. There's the Travel card and the Queen of Cups. And there's, look at that. I mean, what a ball baby. You're bullying me. Ace of Wands. You know, isn't that interesting? That Ace of Cups showed up in reverse, and I don't read these cards in reverse. And then this Ace of Wands is, I think they may be negotiating something. I really do. The card showed, like, deep down, the king wants to settle this. He wants to go in peace. I mean, who wouldn't? Seriously, who wouldn't? And I think they're coming up with some kind of ideas, something, but Harry's going to blow it. Harry's going to blow it. Page of Cups. Queen of Swords. Crying over spilt milk. Can't let go of the past. I just really think that no matter what rules Charles comes up with, I just really think that Harry's going to blow it. Like, this would even be like the NDAs that need to be signed. This would be the rules right here, the Queen of Swords. She'd be the one who has all the rules that everything has to be agreed on. And I think Harry's going to do something to screw it up again, like run to the press, so that the king then says, you know, he would do well to encourage his supporters, Meghan, to allow such matters to be discussed privately, so Meghan and her PR, since low trust and bitter experience in this regard remains one of the principal barriers to progress. I think Meghan's going to keep on destroying it. I really do. I think Meghan's going to keep on destroying it because she doesn't want to go to the States. I mean, the UK. I think we're going to continue to hear about it, little bits here and there on the internet. Oh, progress has been made. And then progress has not been made because it's not supposed to be made public. Right? If Harry truly wishes to see his father, he would do well to encourage his supporters, Meghan and her PR team, to allow such matters to be discussed privately. Let's just ask, here it is being discussed on the internet. Does Harry understand the implications of that statement? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. Let's ask, does Harry understand the implications of that statement? That the king is not saying no. The king is saying, shut your bloody mouth. Let's do this privately between you and me, without your wife, without your PR, without your merching for it. Does Harry understand it though? Because as we understand it, and according to our sources, Harry's not that bright. And maybe he can't comprehend what the king is trying to say. Maybe the king, instead of talking in the king's English, should be talking in like the, I don't know, the peasant's English, I guess. I don't know. What would you call it? No, he doesn't. He has no clue. He's so out of the loop. He honestly has no idea exactly what the king is saying. He doesn't. He cannot comprehend. He cannot reach that high. He cannot. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Harry back together again. Here he is. He's the injured one, limping along with his Instagram loving bitch wife who has spent all their money, and he has no access to any money or even to get inside again because he doesn't understand. He simply does not understand. It would be like trying to explain your paycheck deductions to a 2-year-old. Well, when I work all these hours and this is how much I get paid an hour, and then it equals that, and then they take off taxes as a deduction. And what's taxes? And then they take off this as a deduction, then they take off healthcare as a deduction, and then this is what I'm left with. You'd lose your 2-year-old, or even a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old. That's what it's like talking to Harry. That's what saying something like that is talking to Harry. What you need to say to Harry is, I'll talk to you, but you can't tell your wife. Period. End of story. And if I see anything in the paper, these talks are over. Done. End of story. No exceptions. Do you understand? Repeat it back to me. Because this guy just really he doesn't get it. He really doesn't get it. He really is that slow. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Please take good care and watch on part 2. And I'm going to read about William's trap. See you over there.